Former President Donald Trump's announced Ohio Senator J.D. Vance will be his running mate in the 2024 presidential race. This is as the Republican National Convention gets underway. Dr. Lee Hanna from Wright State University joins us live this morning to break down what the Vance pick means for the race for the White House. Lee, thank you so much for stopping by this morning. What does J.D. Vance bring to the Republican ticket?
Yeah, so, it's interesting. Trump had a few different options, and J.D. Vance had really rose to prominence quickly. I mean, he's only been in the Senate for a couple of years, but he was a very vocal ally for the president in the last 2 years. At times when some other Republicans were slow to get on board, they were checking out Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley. J.D. Vance really attached himself to Trump, and in many ways, this is a doubling down of the Make America Great message. I would say Vance is much more in line with the president's platform than maybe some of the other candidates that we would have viewed as maybe rounding out the ticket. So if you look at like 2016, Trump has a major liability with evangelicals. He brings in Mike Pence as kind of a way to say, hey, I hear you, and everything else. When you look at this pick, this is very much saying, I'm confident in this platform. I've remade the party in my image, and I'm going to pick someone who looks much more like a standard bearer than a counterbalance in any way.
Now, Vance is probably one of the youngest VP picks I can remember in recent history. Yes. Do you see this as kind of like a passing of the baton to a new generation of Republicans?
Yeah, there's a real chance of that. So you'd have to go back to Richard Nixon, who was also 39 when picked as Dwight Eisenhower's VP in 1952. The one difference, though, is Nixon had a few terms in the House of Representatives and then was also a senator when he was tapped. When you look at J.D. Vance, no political experience until he was elected here in 2022. So he does bring far less political experience. That'll probably be one of the larger liabilities that they will have to deal with. But as you say, he does look like someone that could be next in line. He has the support of Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump Jr. and Charlie Kirk, some of these more well-known, popular figures on the right. And so it's certainly... It's a heck of a position for them, because if they do win, Trump will be term limited and people will be looking to him as soon as 2026, 2027 is kind of the logical next choice.
Now, Lee, we continue to have coverage of the Republican National Convention over the next couple of days. What else can we expect as we expect, I guess, Donald Trump to speak eventually here in the next couple of days?
Yes, so, they have an orchestrated message that they kind of go through each night. So, one thing that I think is interesting is the tone completely changed, based on the awful assassination attempt this weekend. And so I think it did probably scramble some of the speeches a bit in terms of maybe going harder at the Democrats and now perhaps trying to flip the script a little bit and perhaps have a bit of a softer message. But the one thing I always watch for is who does get the speaking slots, because I think that says a lot about the future of the party and who is maybe kind of on the rise, whose leadership they value. And so that's kind of what I'll be looking for. Tomorrow night will be J.D. Vance's big speech, and he's kind of set up by the mayor of East Palestine and by a few other Ohioans as well. Bernie Moreno, I believe, speaks as well tomorrow night. And then Trump will be on Thursday night. So it's an opportunity to have a captive audience and to try to make your pitch, and the Democrats will do it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, certainly a lot to look forward to in the coming days. No shortage of political headlines as we get ready for the November election. Dr. Lee Hanna, we appreciate you as always.
Thanks, Nathan.